just when you thought week 1 of MLS was really fun, week 2 comes along and just makes it even more fun. What's up, guys? My name is Joe. Welcome back to the channel, and I am happy to announce that MLS Mondays are finally back here on the channel where they belong. MLS Mondays, if you're new here, if you don't know what it is, basically every Monday we'll get together, hang out, grab some snacks, grab some brews, who cares, and just recap, review, and go over all the stuff that happened this past weekend in MLS, the biggest stories, biggest controversies, biggest wins. We'll get to all that in a second. So if you're new here and you like that stuff, then subscribe down below and be part of this crew. The way MLS Mondays are going to work now on the channel is I'm going to have them broken down into certain segments. I'm going to go over how many games are played, how many goals were scored, and what team did not score this round. Just a little fun facts there. Then, of course, we're going to move down to the biggest win of the weekend. It could be the biggest win like by a score margin, or it could be the biggest win by a team that you did not think was going to win that game, or a team that really needed to win, and they actually did overcome a big opponent. And then, of course, we'll go to the biggest disappointment of the weekend. That could be a player, or that could be a team in itself. That's one of my favorite segments here that we have coming up. And then, of course, we're going to have some quick-fire thoughts, some of my quick-fire thoughts on certain games that I think are worthy enough to talk about. You know, not every single game in MLS is always going to be fun to talk about, but there are some games that you just have to talk about, so we'll get to that too later on in the video. And then, of course, the last two segments are everyone's favorites, goal of the week, and then, of course, my favorite, Drew's MVP of the weekend. So let's just get back into it. Week 2 of MLS brought us 13 games. We had 44 goals scored throughout all of these games. The only teams that did not score this round were DC United, who lost 1-0 away from home against New England Revolution, and then, of course, Cincinnati, who lost terribly in a 5-0 away defeat to New York City FC. I'm sure Bench Kings are happy about that giant win right there. But the biggest win has to go to Austin FC for finally winning this is only their second game ever, but winning their first ever win in their franchise history. They did draw their game before, but now they finally got their first win. They had their first goal also scored by Diego Fagundes, a New England Revolution veteran there, scoring their first goal in franchise history. So that's going to be in the history books forever. The biggest disappointment of the weekend actually goes to two teams this time. This first one obviously is a little bit more personal. It's my team, the Philadelphia Union, who lost 2-1 at home against Inter Miami. The freaking Higuain brothers just did some Higuain brother magic in the city of brotherly love and defeated us at home 2-1. This is a disappointment for me because, you know, we are the Supporters Shield winners. Last season we were undefeated at home, which is crazy. Most points obviously throughout the whole year. That's why we got the Supporters Shield. Had a pretty okay performance against Columbus Crew away from home. Columbus Crew, of course, the MLS Cup champions last year. And I just figured, you know, having some fans in the stadiums, that maybe this time at home, this round, we could actually start the season off good, get a win, have 4 points total after 2 rounds. But we just kind of fell apart. It was like there was no drive, no intensity, no aggressiveness. There was just I just felt we were very, very flat. Maybe we had one eye on the CONCACAF Champions League this weekend. This week, I don't know, but it was very disappointing to me. And the second team that does get the award for most disappointment this past weekend also has to go to Minnesota United, who did lose 1-2 at home against Real Salt Lake. Now, this is a disappointment to me because there's a lot of hype right now for Minnesota. I did pick them to finish pretty high up in their Western Conference, but they just haven't turned on yet. Two losses right away. Week 1 and week 2, 2 straight losses. They got to pick up the pace here. They really got to wake up. If not, they're going to get stuck in that losing rut. And we all know that when a team starts to lose consistently, it's really hard for them to pick back up and start winning again. So now let's go on to the quick fire thoughts on certain games here that happened this past round. The first one, I got to go to the first game that happened this week 2 was Kansas City against Orlando City. This was a very, very close game. I think both teams played well. Gianluca Buzio is an absolute gem. I want to see more from him, and I think we're all going to see more from him this season, because this is the season I think that's going to be his last for Kansas City, especially with all the European interest around the world. For him right now, he's really got to step it up a notch. So now on to the quickfire thoughts of this past week. Starting off with the first game. So now on to the quickfire thoughts of this past week of round of games. Starting off with the first one that kicked us off this weekend was Orlando City away to Kansas City, a 1-1 draw there. What I want to talk about here is Gianluca Buzio, who just looked really good. He looked really, really good. He scored a goal, obviously, the opener. And I am so excited to see this guy play more and more this season because, guys, face it, love it or not, this is going to be, I believe, his last season here in MLS, especially Kansas City. I just know with all the interest going around this past summer, with all the transfer rumors for teams across Europe, there's no way he stays another season here, especially if he keeps performing the way he performed this past weekend. He's definitely going to be out of here soon. Next up I want to talk about is obviously NYCFC fucking thrashing in Cincinnati. I just feel like Cincinnati, you guys got great fans. You guys got a freaking killer-ass stadium. Now you guys need to just show that, mimic that on the pitch. There's no way you should be losing that much in the first weeks, man. Like, that's an embarrassment there. Another one real quick, Toronto FC, a little disappointed there. They not disappointed enough where I have to put them on the disappointment list, but just a little worry there, losing their first game to Montreal at home and then drawing at home against Vancouver. Vancouver Whitecaps, a team that I really think that Toronto should be able to, steamroll a bit. But that's that. LAFC and Seattle Sounders, obviously one of the biggest games of the week. 1-1 draw. What do you expect there? I feel like these guys are going to be like instant rivals the more times they play each other, especially in the playoffs. Austin FC, congratulations on winning your first game in franchise history. 3-1 away from home against Colorado. You guys should be winning that. I do pick you guys to be finishing higher than Colorado there. Portland Timbers, 2-1 win against Houston Dynamo at home. What do you expect? They got one eye on the CONCACAF Champions League midweek. It's going in there with some good momentum. So let's talk about now the goal of the week. And this could be the goal of the season. At least for, I liked it. Some people were like, it's whatever, but this is a fucking hit. And that, of course, the award this week goes to Ezequiel Barco from Atlanta United when he just scored that freaking fire rocket. This came off a free kick, a failed free kick that was taken terribly by Barco, and then the rebound goes after it and just freaking roofs it to the back of the net. No keeper in the freaking world could say that. There could be two goalkeepers in that goalpost, and neither one is going to save that freaking corner rocket from Ezequiel Barco. So congrats to you, Ezequiel Barco, for winning Drew's Goal of the Week. So now on to my favorite segment of the series, and that, of course, is going to be Drew's MVP of the weekend, and it has to go to none other than Javier Chicharito Hernandez from LA Galaxy, scoring a freaking hat trick against New York Red Bulls in Galaxy's 3-2 home win against New York Red Bulls. This is, dude, we all, even myself too, I doubted Chicharito already this season before the season started, just based off last season scoring one goal. There's really not living up to the hype that was brought onto him coming into MLS last season as his first season. But this year, he's looking like a different animal. He's got more confidence. He's got more, he just has more drive to just succeed more here. Scoring 5 goals in 2 games already this season. He got 5 goals already. The season just fucking started. A brace in the first opening game for LA Galaxy, and now 3 goals here at home against New York Red Bulls. This guy is on fire, and I hope he keeps that. I know, of course, Mexican and USA national teams are rivals, but I do want him to succeed here, because if he succeeds here, MLS succeeds in the whole grand scheme of things, okay? But I do feel for him. Last year, I really did feel for him because I did hype him up myself, and he kind of just flopped. But this season already, he's onto the right track. I want to see him keep the momentum going, and I want to see him keep scoring some more goals. And I want him to create that rivalry between him and Carlos Vela at LAFC, and just when they, both of them going for that golden boot in MLS, that would be to intensify the rival even more. So overall, I think that was a really good week for MLS. I just wanted MLS to keep growing on that. The league already is growing as a whole. The potential of it is growing, of course. The excitement is growing. There's more people getting attracted to this game here in America. More people getting attracted to MLS in general. And I fuck with it. I'm all for it, all right? I love it. But that's all I have for you guys today. It was a really quick one for the first MLS Monday of the channel. But next week, we will get more in-depth. And I wanted to do maybe like a team of the week as well. But let me know what else you guys would like to see added to the segments on this series here on the channel, because I would love some more ideas, especially from you guys, because you guys are the ones I'm recording for. So without further ado, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for kicking with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.